Hello everyone, this is part number 19 of our physical retaliation Warlord. We managed to hit level 90, which is pretty good. Endgame stuff starts to drop.
I'll keep your stash safe. I'll keep an eye on this. I'll give you a good price.
Gonna sell few stuff. This one is worth keeping. Actually, I forgot about this one. This one is much better.
Put it to good use. Got something you need stashed?
I'm gonna put my stuff. Every single rare material, especially the potions, crystals, the key.
I'll hold on.
I'm gonna craft myself a little bit more dynamites. I managed to find a lot of cards. Let's do a blowing session for the
Tinkering is my specialty.
As I said, don't watch me, I blow with dynamite so much legendaries. Most of them is worth keeping, but
Bring me back.
I don't use shared stash of season, as I mentioned several times. This is another Easter egg. If you come nearby this abomination corpse, there is a Sadina memento. Be sure there's gonna be a pop-up message. Be sure you keep this in your inventory, in your stash, sorry. You're gonna need it. I'm gonna put it next to all of the rest quest items. This is the Saltback, Sadina memento, and a Heart of Darkness. If you sell this, basically it will be impossible for you to open the locker quest farm. But this is when I finish the build, I'm gonna deal with this. So here I'm gonna stick with the Sulail. I found their questline much easier than the rest, much straightforward. Not so. And I prefer speed over anything else, because at the end I'm gonna be revert with all of them. Anyways, I'm gonna pop up an experience potion. At this point I don't need beast reputation. I am revert with the Coven and Homestead as well. So it's not necessary for me to kill all these beasts. As we can see, the experience gain is much better. Potion is so good. Just you have to be careful when you use it for old characters. You're gonna speed level very fast. and your gear gonna outdate pretty fast as well. Monsters gonna scale with you and they gonna start deal serious damage. This is a very important thing to be taken as a consideration. A lot of people don't think about it, but this is a huge game mechanic when monsters start scaling with you. I have to craft my Seal of Annihilation sooner or later. This regeneration mobs is very hard to deal with. I'm gonna leave this battle, it's not worth it. I'm gonna mock him for 5 minutes. Just gonna leave it until I craft my component. But it's not necessary now because the campaign usually becomes a problem when you start pushing Shattered Realm or Crucible, sorry. Forgotten Gods at Ultimate is a pretty dangerous area. That's why I always leave it for last, especially if I don't need anything from here. Can be a little bit problematic if I need specific MIs from this expansion. But thankfully my build don't need anything from here. There is a desecrated shrine, which is technically a totem. Another very good set, worth keeping, that's Virtue. This is a Aegis of Man here, shield breaker, fire based. A pretty decent set. The build is very good as well. It's considered top 20 in a softcore by the softcore elite. So that set definitely is a very good one. Again, regeneration mobs. It's not fun at all. I managed to burst him down. which is but I think it's time to craft Seal of Annihilation. This is gonna be very problematic from now on. Better get I forgot how expensive this one is. I don't think I have enough seal of bindings. Definitely not. I need more. Okay. This is gonna be a priority for the next episode. I'm not gonna waste my time farming, sorry, seal of bindings. I want to finish this expansion and start my endgame farming route as soon as possible. This boss, as I said, if you fight him here on the stairs, both pillars is gonna protect you from some of the projectiles. You don't want to fight him at the middle. It's gonna be very problematic. We take serious damage here because I got out of cooldowns and potion as well. As you can see, this expansion is extremely dangerous. You have to be careful. Even with capped resistances and everything, he managed to drop me below 50%. Pay attention to your cooldowns as well. Let's save the apprentice. Also, density here is extremely big. There is a tons of mobs all around you, and they summons more on top, which can make this area pretty rippy. This is your second Leovinus ring. It's very important to pick this up, so you have 2 rings to start off your journey when you level old characters. This ring's pretty good for Act 1 or Act 2. After that they start to fade off, because they don't give anything apart from elemental resistance and some experience gain. That wasn't very smart move of mine. These guys, they are extremely dangerous, and I summoned them on top of another crowd of mobs, which yeah, as you can see, my debuff bar is full, but I managed to pop up some cooldowns. That's gonna keep me alive for a while. My life leech as well. But that was definitely a dumb move. Another very good component. This is an enchanted earth. Not so meta anymore because regeneration builds they got slightly nerfed. But still very good component if you have a free slot. Another regeneration, but thankfully these beasts, they are very weak in terms of defenses and HP pool. There is another totem. I'm not gonna do the same mistake again. This time I'm gonna clear a little bit before I summon them on top. This is Forsaken. It's gonna be kinda brutal again. Seal of Corruption. Let's take care of the shield mob. This is our glyph. That's what I'm looking for. Glyph of Seismic Strength. I'm gonna craft this immediately. I get sick of this bow rush ability. I need something more related to my build.
Got any more scrap metal?
I'm gonna craft 3. I'm gonna keep a little bit essences for later. So this is jump based ability, but comes with retaliation damage. 30%, which is pretty big. Some flat physical damage and flat internal trauma. This is very good. And now when I reposition, I'm gonna do some damage as well. And it's much further, it's 17 meters. I have to at this point I soft cap Cars of Battle. That put me in a 47 stun res, which is not ideal but much better than mine 20 from the last episode. If I can put this to 60 or at least 70 is gonna be ideal. Because I got pretty bad stun lock last episode by Aldrich at the pits and I almost died there. This guy is pretty dangerous. You have to be sure you avoid his Thunder mechanic. And he basically spammed this. Let's check if my devotions are touched. I do some changes, so I want to be sure. I hug the west part. There is a desecrated shrine, and at this point I'm gonna find more endgame gear. I am at this level range when 94 items starts to drop much more frequently. Time wrapped heroes, they put this seal on the ground and they slows you pretty bad. Sometimes you have to reposition, especially if you are a weapon pull skill type of build that you rely on basic attacks to score damage. Nothing special here, but it's worth trying. Also, these shrines, they comes with reputation to the cults. Another totem. I'm gonna check this. It's another very bad spawn. This is Forsaken again. I'm going to not find him all at once. It's always smart to reposition and don't take damage from all of them. Also, you can always use the environment, like these stairs over here. So there is no way I get surrounded. Sacred plating is another amazing component. I have to start craft some endgame stuff. For example, I have to change the scale for something better, like maybe sacred plating or titan plating, one of those. I'm gonna place rift here. I'm gonna grab the rift gate and I'm gonna backtrack.
See anything you like?
This set's worth keeping. Two pieces of this set is not bad at all. And I already got two.
See you around. More scrap metal?
It's time to craft stone plate guard. Pretty expensive craft in terms of bits, but it's definitely something that I need. We're gonna look only for the green ones, but this one is a good roll. It's aggressive of the eagle.
Bring me back any blue ones. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
This is pretty bad roll. In previous of mending, actually this is the winner.
Iron well spent.
Of course it's a double magic, but it's the right ones. That's gonna fix my problems with the poison resistance. So I can use something different instead of anti-venom self, but at this point I think I'm good. There's nothing much that I can put there anyways.
My specialty.
Actually I think I have a retaliation components.
I do the best I can with what I've got.
That's much better. Because comes with armor, that's gonna apply to all my slots. This is a good trait. Which means I can drop the boots component as well for something better. Have to craft 2 shards. Reward stones. And we have better boot component as well.
Let's take a look, shall we?
You see how rolling a good basically craft nets me up to good stun resistance, good armor, cap my freeze rest, cap my slow resistance as well, and give me 300 armor more.
Bring me back something.
And
I've heard
still it's one soldier. This belt can carry me through the whole game.
I've heard
See anything you like?
Now it's time to
Got any more scrap metal?
let's see how much armor absorption I lose. Yeah, it's time to change the scale as well. Sacred plating is one of the options, and the other option is titan plating, I think, but I don't have it at the moment. So blessed steel, let's see what this wants. So this is 12 silvers. As you can see, craft sessions can be quite expensive. But that's worth it, because you're basically you have to replace everything for endgame components.
shall we?
So this gives me more Ether resistance, more vitality as well. Also my armor absorptions is again 100%. So I basically, maybe I can change the, let's see. No, I can't. I have to keep the ancient armor plate. But that's okay for now. I'm gonna, what's left to change is basically my amulet and my, definitely my medal. But this is later. For now we are set. Usually this is a pretty common drop, the blueprint for this, for the stone plate waistguard. But if you don't have it, just craft for yourself a higher version of the devil's waistguard. It's gonna work for you as well. Just this is a better defensive option, especially if it rolls correctly like this one. So another desecrated shrine. Let's check our luck. A few blueprints for assets that we don't need, unfortunately. I'm looking for stone guard set. This is my plan for this build. This is a one-shot chest, sorry. Eldritch Essence, this is totally worth it. This one's very rare as well. They drop just at the Forgotten Gods. This guy shotguns, be careful. And he can dish out serious damage, really serious damage. Never underestimate him. That's why I hate to come for this quest at ultimate, is always risk. As you can see, when I'm out of cooldowns, my health bar ramping. That's a lot of damage. His second phase, I think it's not that dangerous. But just being a caster, it's basically very bad for me. He doesn't trigger my retaliation, so but he's done for. I can drift forward thanks to the fact but first I want to buy my mandate from the Soul so I can hit my reputation status much faster.
See anything you like?
At this point I am a little bit broke.
Put it to good use.
400,000 of bits is not much. This place is there is a very important quest here. We look for basically a Black Legion member corpse, slightly different than these ones. I always forgot the actual location, but if you basically clear the fog of this area, you're gonna find it. It's that one over here, and that's the tomb. This gonna unlock our third option at the inventor. We can craft, basically we can swap pieces of sets for other pieces of the same set or a different set. There is a few options as a possibilities, which is kind of very good, because if you have a certain blueprint, you can basically craft this set for yourself by crafting a couple of these pieces and just transmute them basically to the rest of the set. This is very powerful mechanic at Grimdawn. It's not like other games, you have to grind over and over until you find all the pieces. Even if you take dupes, you can transmute them, which saves you tons of time instead of grind for all this. This is a Swift. We love Swift mob heroes. They attack faster than usual, so they take tons of retaliation in return.
Give you a good price for what I've got left. Iron well spent. You're looking. Can you quarterback? Serve the.
So here for this quest I prefer to kill all the men and leave the two girls alive. So next this guy. Won't make any difference which one do you pick. You have to kill 3 out of 5. But I prefer to leave the girls alive. This is the most funny one. Guard's gonna help you for this one. No one like this guy. He always talking trash.
Well,
So from now on, I don't need any of those. I'm gonna max out Rebuke.
hello?
Cunning. I'm gonna let them stay. Doesn't matter if you
Serve the
let them stay or not. It's basically different dialogue options. Nothing going to affect your game.
Riken seems don't worry.
This is another Easter egg here. If you stand on top of this pool, and legendary items gonna pop up. Just be sure you don't die. I'm gonna rotate my cooldowns. So this is Chill Heart. That happened only at ultimate, I think. This is a very good. Basically this is a cold Eye of Reckoning. Dervish. I think this is the best you can play with this one. It's possible to play Ring of Steel as well. But it's a interesting item.
Yes, traveler.
And I like to have all of them, so, and it's absolutely free. If you are be careful enough to not die inside this pool. There is a tons of Easter eggs and Grim Dawn that make this game so special to me. I have hundreds of playthroughs and I still love this game, enjoy playing it. It's a very interactive as a game. I can name almost all the NPCs, and there is a games that I can't name even one. For example, Last Epoch. I play this game several playthroughs and stuff, but it's so boring. Not the same interaction with buildings, environment stuff. Quests pretty straightforward, nothing exceptional. On Arix can dish out serious amount of damage as well. He's gonna shred Yeah, he gonna shred your chaos resistance and probably some more, but most of my resistance over 29, so but definitely I notice a chaos resistance shreds there, which means if I'm not capped or slightly over capped, he's gonna dish out serious amount of damage. There is another shrine here. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I don't remember the components that I want, but yeah, that's a scam. I'm not gonna give this shrine a radiant gem just for some chunk of experience. Some shrines totally rip off. I don't advise you to give up rare materials or rare crafts. As you can see, few crafting session and I'm broke again. Min-maxing in Grimdown can be pretty expensive. I was curious where is my damage. I unequip my shield. That's pretty lame. That's why pay attention. I curse my damage for the whole run and end up my butter shield wasn't equipped, which is one of my main source of direct damage. This is an example how dense is this areas. Too much bad guys in one place. But I need these eldritch essences and this reputation, so this is another guaranteed spawn in the basalt cracks. This is Grimmaw. This is cold base mini boss. Again, you don't want to stay too much at these rings. One of my problems with Warlord, it comes with tons of crowd control skills, which I can't avoid basically. So I crowd control most of the mobs and they don't attack me. So I lose some damage. But as I said, this guy is a natural Kalagadra and a Ravager killer. Also can farm Shattered Realm with a reasonable speed. Another amazing component. This is Book letter. I'm not gonna use it probably. At least not for now. Our defensive ability ramping. Yeah, most of the mobs, they don't have enough chance to hit me. But I'm gonna reshape that at endgame. I'm gonna leave not some. I have like 300 plus physique that I don't need. Forgotten God area is not very Warlord friendly, comes with tons of energy leech, which is not ideal for our build. I want to move this guy a little bit out of the crystal. Too much different source of damage. I don't want to die exactly now when I'm so close to 100. That happens to me, of course. Here is another shrine and a chest that I want. I need some bits and items to sell. So that's the chest. Nothing special, but at least good chunk of iron bits. We got lucky this time, there is a totem as well. Also here is one of the secret blacksmiths, there is a lot of them all around the map. So at this point I can put 1 point here, 5 points fighting spirit is a good breakpoint. Nothing useful. There is a few items that I need desperately, like mythical armor of Azragor and Thornhide pants. That was bad, very bad, very bad. I take so much stacks of debuff. This guy's no joke. Okay, that's one of the pieces that I need. My blind, I can't see it. I'm pretty sure I saw Stone Guard on the floor. I'm so blind. That can't be. Oh, yeah. I mistook Stronghold Wasteguard for the Stone Guard. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. This is another set that you want to keep. Stronghold set is a pistol and shield. Basically Purifier. It's a very strong archetype. This is basically if you like gambling. Also you can craft yourself Tonic of Reshaping here. This is a very good addition to the game. So this is not limit. This is you can craft yourself some legendary jewelry. Or I can try to craft legendary armors and stuff. But this is pure gambling. I don't advise you to use it. It's a pretty expensive. For example, this weapon, caster weapon, it's a 2 Celestial Lotus and tons of iron bits. Honestly, I never use this feature, but both of the tonics is something that's good to have if you want to min-max your build, but usually the game awards you enough of them. Especially if you have a plan, what you're gonna play at the end. This is part from another quest line that we're gonna do in some of the next episode, because kinda long. This gonna unlock for you Tomb of the Heretic, which is a high-end game dungeon. But as I said, until they don't improve dungeons in Grimdown, they are not worth it. It's always worth to do them once or twice just to experience them, but in terms of loot and time spent, they are totally not worth it. Especially if you play like an hour or two per day. There is a much more efficient way to farm gear in Grimdown instead of spending between half an hour and 40 minutes at the dungeon just to receive one or two legendaries that's totally useless for you. Here is the messenger. It's gonna be another tough fight. Corrupted is a pretty bit bad mutator. Swift is actually in our favor, but I don't like Corrupted. This can be problematic. This guy is no joke. I don't like to be hit from all of them, so I'm gonna dodge as much as I can. As you can see, a lot of stuff that you have to be aware of. If you get hit by several mechanics and you reposition bad, it's gonna be the end for you. One of his MI is good, the other one is pretty bad. So this is the bad one. This is some sort of gun infiltrator, which is, I mean, playing a Nightblade as a gunner. It's kinda meme. Another optional boss. The fun thing is you don't have to kill him to loot the chests. But he guards the entrance to Sunward Spire. This is another dangerous domain, but that domain drops a very good sword if you're gonna level a fire commando. That's the Sun Herald sword. But Sunward Spire is a so crowded area. So another 3 gargoyles. Don't stay in the middle. You're gonna take also a reposition. They're gonna these guys are healers as well. Again, nothing useful. That's a pretty bad luck for now. Usually on a playthrough I manage to find at least 1 or 2 items that I need. In our case I don't have anything from my end game plan. But is what it is. We're gonna farm later anyways, when we finish the campaign. Usually you can start farming straight away when you hit 90. Okay, we take care of the guardians. Time to go back to the vanguard so we can trigger the quest line. This is one of these cases that you have actually talk with the NPC. So he's gonna give me the quest item. We have to deal with Dravis again. And when you finish his sister quest line, the conversation is quite different. There is a more options. But I'm not gonna... You have to be careful. This is Raven Assert. You don't want to stay on top. This is a shotgun mechanic. Also this is his Thunder mechanic. As you can see how much damage he puts on me. He is absolutely joke at normal, but at ultimate slightly different. He disengage as well. Maybe I can fence tank him, but I don't want to risk. Not when I'm so close. Also that's gonna show you how to properly pilot instead of be reckless. Now this is another skill point. This is only at ultimate. That's why it's very important to reach at least this point at the Forgotten Gods. Otherwise, completely optional as an expansion. I'm gonna take some this point. Our build is a kind of maxed. But I can take either decorated soldier or a little bit more shred. But I'm going for the passives. Never a bad thing. This guy hits pretty hard. Don't underestimate him as well. Especially his ray attack and his thunder. You don't want to get hit by this. Because he's gonna immediately do his slam attack. As you can see, this is a extremely amount of damage. Probably his weapon is a good one. I believe it's at least double rare. For the amount of damage he's dealt to me. It's definitely an exceptional weapon, it's not something random. He got me with a thunder. Definitely I want to kite this thunder mechanic.
Your fate is death. You will go no further. You will go no further.
Yep. As I predict, this is superior of Onslaught. Extremely deadly combination. That comes with flat physical, a lot of flat physical damage, and as well crit damage, and a lot of internal trauma. Not the best, but still very, very rippy. That's why my health bar ramping so much. These bosses, they become very, very stronger when they put 100% for them to carry their MIs. If these guys carry a triple rare physical prefix and suffix Albert, can one-shot maybe 50% of the builds. That's how dangerous it is sometimes to find these bosses. There is nothing wrong to reroll, but I just don't want to run the whole place again. You can see how dense is this area. You can be easily blocked here if you don't have reasonable movement ability. gonna stick to the objective. Don't plan to. I'm gonna fight them at the door, so I don't have to fight all at once. Piloting your build well is one of the very important things in Grim. This is a pretty bad spawn. There is arcane mob there. I didn't manage to kill him fast, so I'm gonna wait for his mechanic. It's over there. So I can jump straight again. You have to be careful. Again, nothing so much useful. Pretty crap blueprint, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. In the next episode we're gonna start our farming route. I'm gonna show you how to farm gear on a fresh character that's not endgame based, and just with normal gear, faction gear and so on. This is another guaranteed boss here. This is Brothers Sigarius, Vengeance of Kaiman. He plays this mechanic that's gonna, you don't want to stay on top. It shows that there is no projectiles, but there is actually is. A lot of people underestimate this because there is no visible projectiles. There is a treasure trove. Have to drop something. I'm gonna click another potion. There is a plenty of mobs to kill until I reach Korvac and Kaiman. Okay, that's Titan plating. This is the component that we spoke about. Is another very good one. Probably we're gonna end up using. That's part of Dark Blade set. And here is where the things get spicy. I'm gonna grab some . want some reduction to fire dot damage for this fight. Kaiman is one of the hardest fight in the campaign, especially at ultimate. You have to be extremely careful.
It is too late.
He is a one-shot king. You have to avoid his belly burst at all cost. This one, definitely. He's gonna jump on you. This one. His jump deals a lot of damage as well. You don't want to kite him for too long. He's gonna pounce. It's, as you can see, that was a very reasonable amount of damage, especially if he puts all of his combination. He shreds DA as well. But if you know what to do, you're gonna be okay. But if you got panicked and you basically step on the volcano, he pounces, that's gonna be end of you. Always pilot well, don't get panicked. If you take a reasonable amount of damage, like he depletes 80% of your bar, just press immediately cluster. Also never come at the Forgotten Gods if your resistance not capped and slightly overcapped. There is a lot of heroes and bosses here that shred resistance. For the campaign you want 25 plus on everything. The highest resistance shred at the campaign I believe is 25. Maybe a little bit more. But Forgotten Gods no joke, especially Kaiman. Korvac as well. Korvac comes with tons of mechanics. Usually this is one of my least favorite battles because the animation's too slow. And 3-phase battle. And you have to adapt to all of his forms. There is a totally fine if you left this battle for later when you are 100 and you are at endgame gear. Nothing wrong with this. Of course if I can't manage I'll just reset, and I'm gonna do this when I acquire some gear. At this point I have all the campaign skill points and quest point. The only points that left is from Shattered Realm, but I'm gonna push this when I have reasonable amount of gear. I can't push Shattered Realm with this trash gear on me. I'm going back to the... because I can equip my 94 weapon.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Let's summon our guys.
Come see what's left of my wares.
At this point I want my Seal Blades cause it's much more expensive than this shield. And I want to put some component, some powder, this one for physical damage. I can change my Milton's cask as well.
Tinkering is my specialty.
I can put my armor, warding off. Yep, definitely it's much more armor.
Bring me back something interesting.
So if you're not 94, you can freely farm a little bit to hit 94 before facing Korvac. So you can equip some better gear. Definitely I can swap several stuff here and there. I think I don't receive anything anymore from the slit primal ring, apart from some cold and lighting resistance. I'm gonna keep it for now, but definitely I can buy a second Legion War Seal.
Bring me back something interesting.
I'm gonna sell some stuff before I step in for this battle. A lot of useless stuff. I'm gonna keep the legendaries so I can
See you around.
dismantle them with dynamite.
Need something
I'm gonna do this now. That was luck. This one is very luck. Mutagens is something that I like. Ancient Heart. Wendigo Spirit. That's why always worth keeping all the legendaries that you found. One dynamite's totally worth what we find so far.
be safe out there.
See anything you like. Iron well
Okay.
spent.
I think we are set for this fight. As I said, this is my least favorite fight in the game. I just hate this guy. So slow animations until he releases himself. Now he's gonna shout. So slow. First phase, nothing special. You don't want to get hit by several of those, so just I'm gonna reposition. And the meteors is the most dangerous stuff in his first phase. You don't want to get hit by a few of them, so basically I just gonna step out from this. And I'm just gonna kite the meteors. It's a very slow battle, he's very tanky. This is his second phase. He's gonna free his arms. And the last phase, he's gonna get rid of his helm. His battle comes with a lot of striptease, basically. You want to get rid of the crystal, cause that spawns the odds. Second phase is basically a odd phase. He's gonna summon this crystal and several odds, but there is not so much dangerous mechanic. You don't want to get basically surrounded by tons of these enemies. You have to clear a lot. And here is where the things get spicy. He's gonna be much more mobile. Also a lot of stuff to be careful. He's gonna do combinations of attacks like this one. As you can see, 3 different mechanics at once. And this ID buff means I'm got DA shredded. My build's pretty tanky, so I don't have so much problems with this fight, but there is several builds that can be in a very bad situation. Especially when presence of Korvac is on top of you. Celestial's presence, I mean. You don't want to get hit by meteors by any means. They're extremely painful. Watch out for them. I'm DA shred at the moment, but my DA is pretty high, so I'm sure he's not gonna crit on me. I am out of cooldown, so it's wise idea to kite. I don't wanna risk. You can risk, of course, but sometimes it's not high risk, high reward. Especially now I'm out of cooldown. I have just my potion, so it's not very wise to... And he's dead. I know it's long and boring fight, but... So one of these chests is a one-shot chest, the other one it's basically his boss chest. Completely not worth the time spent here dealing with him. This is a very interesting weapon.
Korvax, his count has been...
And that's all about Forgotten Gods. We have to bring Mother's Pendant to Dahlia. She was at the Infernal Waste, if I'm not mistaken, nearby the rift. So no, he's at the Valley of Chosen.
Hello again, my friend.
So we deal with this quest as well. In the next episode, I'm gonna start my farming route for my endgame gear and stuff. I'm gonna show you what I do on a completely basically naked character, because all of this stuff they're pretty much guaranteed in the game, apart from the black steel gauntlets, but they can drop pretty easily. Honestly, Citadel is my endgame relic, but usually you can be totally fine if you put Fervor or Juggernaut. This is just a luck on my side that I dropped this early at ultimate difficulty, but everything else is completely trash. Even my medal is aggressive of squalls. I have faction gear. Stone Height of Thorns a good roll, honestly, but still it's a low level base, is a 75. This decorated pauldrons, it's nothing exceptional. I can change them at this point. I have plenty of poison resistance, so I can pick something else from the faction vendors. But we're gonna discuss that in the next episode. This one is already too long, so thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.